Hello Aries, welcome back to my channel. I am Mariana and I will do the vibes inside for you today. So, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I read about the self and the ego voice that we all have inside us. And sometimes, especially if you find yourself in a lot of turmoil in your life, a lot of life lessons maybe, or even if you have realized you go through a spiritual awakening, maybe there's something in these readings for you that may help you or just clarify something maybe. I'm still, of course, on my journey. I don't know if it is going to be lifelong, but I'm still working my way through my stuff. So I'm also just someone doing some of this. And so I just share some of the stuff that I figure out. And you can, if it resonates with you, you can just, of course, listen to it and maybe take what you can bring with you and help you forward. And if you don't like it, just throw it out, just let it be, then it's not for you, right? Okay. So, I'm filming this on the 2nd of August 2022. We just had this historical, very beautiful, but also maybe a little fiery encounter between Uranus, North Node, and Mars. So I don't know about you guys, but I definitely figured something out, and maybe you will too. I did make a video on the for that specific energy, but of course it's just one general reading, and it will not and cannot, of course, not resonate with all. As this one, it's a general YouTube tarot reading. I pick up on some energies and maybe you resonate with them, maybe you don't, but this is what I have for you, right? So okay, what I got or what I feel this time is something like maybe like wanting something to happen, but everything around you or with that specific thing, project, person, or whatever it is, it kind of tells you or shows you to wait. Or it shows you, tells you, reveals to you patience. Don't put force on things. You need to allow it to happen. You need to allow it to unfold. With the yellow color here today, I felt very strongly yellow. Of course it's fiery, but it has to do with the solar plexus. So here we have confidence, willpower, go-getter energy, damn it, I want to do this, like this, maybe a bit fiery energy that kind of just gets us moving, gets us out of the chair. And but this, it has to do very much with I can do this, that kind of feeling, or if you are having a problem with your confidence, maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's the feeling I can't do this, or I'm not sure I can do this, or I can only do this if I have help, or I'm not ready to do this, perhaps, or something like that. I get very much something about the feeling of dignity, like that dignity goes with the confidence, if you feel dignity around yourself, worthiness, the confidence is there as alongside with it. If we lack in dignity, if we lack in personal boundaries, if we lack in the feeling of being worthy, then the confidence is probably also lacking. So let's have some cards on these energies. It's very much a feeling of I get almost like an outside thing, something you want to reach, something you want to have, something you are attracted to, something that is not yet here with you, you feel like, but it's here. And I want that, right? I want this, so And I would like it now. That's very Aries, right? I would like it now. So something you would like to manifest now. But I just have the feeling that it's everything around that specific thing. Maybe this is a child, maybe it's a person, maybe it's a project, maybe it's some feelings inside yourself. Maybe you say, I just want to get over with that. I want to be done with that. Can I just be done with that now? And it's just, if you get the signs, if you constantly are shown signs to, it's not right, it's not there yet, I hear it's not ripe yet, something is not ready yet, you have to slow down, you cannot force it. It's supposed to happen when it's ready. Give it time, allow it to unfold, something like that. And that means you need to have patience. You need to accept that you have to wait. You need to accept that it's not going according to your will. It will be slower. It will not be forced. You cannot force something, force it to be. You have to allow something to unfold, allow something to grow. If this has to do with your confidence, maybe it's something like, it's not that you go from one day to another having no confidence and then full-blown confidence. That it's something that is growing. And how can it grow? It can grow if you nurture it, right? If you give it sustenance, if you water it, I hear allow it also. If you allow it to grow, meaning that check if you have certain thought patterns that actually limit you from growing something. Success fears, for instance. So from one point to another requires something. It requires something. It could be a shift in, as I said, dignity, sense of worthiness, having like no worthiness feeling, and shifting into worthiness feeling. Maybe for some it can be quicker, but actually I feel more like it could be a transition period that takes a little time. Maybe it's evolving, like a growing, or like strengthening a muscle. Like you can't work out 100 hours and then expect you to be strong the next day. You need to grow it, right? You need to only pushes, you can only push it as far as it's ready to. Then you have to rest, you have to give it some time, you have to eat, you have to sleep, and then you can exercise again. And you can exercise again. And then you can run longer or bike longer or lift heavier weights, right? But you can grow it slowly into something more. It's that kind of feeling. I hope you get my point here. Of whatever this may be for you. Maybe you are in a process of wanting to build a business, right? And you want it to succeed now, or you are standing in front of some kind of project and there is a lot of maybe practical stuff, administrative stuff, legal stuff, or something economical stuff that you have to get to know. Like you have to know something about it. And you just, can it just be done with? Why all this stuff? Yeah, but it's because it's important. If you want to grow something and you want it to be right, and you want to have a good foundation, and you don't want sudden incoming lightning bolts that throw everything out the window, then maybe it's almost like a preparation time is maybe a good investment, right? Maybe it's good to have this preparation time, this a building time, like building the muscle, building something slowly and steadily, and not with a lot of force, but with a lot of support. Maybe you allow yourself, you take time off, you give it a break, you don't want to rush towards something, you take it slower and allow things to unfold in your brain, in your gut, in your power center, your confidence growing slowly but surely. Allow it to become more. Allow it to become more, not to force it to be more, right? You get the difference, allow it to evolve with a sense of support, a sense of, even if, let's say you look at a co-worker and you are a boss, and you look at the co-worker and you know that they have skills, right? And of course you can force them to bring those skills into action, and you can keep putting force on them, work more hours, deliver results all the time, and you can keep pushing them, but eventually they will be exhausted, right? Eventually they will become sick, eventually they will lose the drive, they will lose the motivation perhaps. That is one leader management style, to just use their power, their hierarchy power, and push their employees, force them, coerce them to deliver something or do something. But what if you were a different leader, right? What if you were a leader who could see the potential and knowing the skills of their employee, and instead of wanting quick results, you look for a long-term result. You look for, I want this employee to be with me for many years. I want them to be a trusted, not just an employee, but maybe a trusted co-worker, a trusted person to me also. I want to get to know them better. I want to support them. I want to encourage them. I want them to also take time off, because we all know that time off is working and then having fun, or working and resting, right? We need a balance somehow. So what if I chose a different approach? What if I chose to slow down a little bit, not push as much, encourage more, support, and then see if I can somehow create an environment where something can grow and blossom, instead of something is pushed into blossoming before it's ready and then it dies. Do you get my point? It's something like that, I feel like here. So let's have an overall energy, please. Thank you for this reading for Aries. Aries. Beautiful fire energy. I feel like Aries can be very courageous, very fun, very outspoken, outgoing. But I'm also aware that if Aries energy has somehow not been able to evolve, not been able to express itself, it has been punished or somehow, then I realize that an Aries energy could struggle, right? Okay, so I have two jumpers here. The Zen garden, and then it's like something is laying over it. So let's have a look at that. Lost love, yeah. Something is ruining your Zen garden, right? The possible Zen garden that you could have of confidence and feeling good about yourself. The Zen garden is your inner sanctuary. This is where you feel great, right? You feel absolutely great here and safe and good and sound, and this is a prosperous, sunny place, right? But this is kind of laying over it. And maybe it's subconscious how much this actually is damaged or can't blossom somehow because of something here. Lost love. I see this card as it says surrender, healing, and release. But when I see this card, the moon is very significant for me. And moon energy is always, as I've said in many other readings, get to know your moon sign, because I feel in the horoscope, get to know your moon sign. Because the moon sign can be where we have had the most trouble. Where we have had the most, especially as scapegoats, we probably have had some significant experiences that were very troubling or destructive somehow. I want to say as scapegoats, I would do that. I would take a look at your moon sign. Here it says lost love. And when I see the card here with her laying there and all these hearts on her body, to me it feels like almost like tattoos. Like something has been, like the love this one has experienced, it's almost like it got tattooed in her. So even if she's not with that particular person anymore, it's like there's something stays behind. It's still there. Like a mark that cannot be erased. It's like a wound that will never heal or something like that. It's like there are several of them all over the body here. Several of them that somehow that lost love. So you have lost or not connected with people you may have felt love for, but it's something that kind of they felt like that as flyers, right? But it's almost like it's a shadow over something. It's a shadow over your potential confidence or your potential feeling of, as I said, inner worthiness or dignity or feeling good about yourself. Something feels like it's it's still having an effect on you, perhaps, somehow. Maybe an effect, as I said, on your the feeling of inner sanctuary. I'm safe, I'm good, I'm loved, I'm fine, I'm good enough, I have what it takes, I'm a beautiful person, like feeling good about yourself. That there's this feeling of something laying over it as a shadow. And maybe you would like that to be gone. You would like the sanctuary to be here now. But maybe it's something that, as I said, it may require good preparation work. It may require a persistent sense of allowance or allowing, a persistent honoring of something, honoring yourself maybe, or honoring the process, the healing process. And not forcing it. The persistence I talk about is not about force. It's about slow allowing. That kind of feeling. Like a stupid saying maybe, but like Rome wasn't built on one day, right? It's like if you want to build something big, long lasting, maybe you need to start with the small, but be attentive with that, right? That feeling. And maybe that's even something you have to consider in relationships. Why have you lost love, Aries? Or why do you not want to open your heart again? Why do you not trust in love, perhaps? Is it because it's not moving quick enough? Is it because someone is putting brakes down? Is it because someone's saying no, and you can't have your will, or that your will is challenged by someone, or you felt defeated or hurt by someone's rejection or something like that? Just take it how it resonates, right? It's put it into your situation, whatever that may be. I say the vibes inside. So typically it's an internal process. I refer to an internal process, but sometimes we see some of the energies manifest outside as well. So if you have no sense of confidence and willpower or worthiness, people will probably treat you like shit because you don't feel worthy of a good treatment. You don't feel worthy of love. You feel worthy of being bullied, perhaps, or that's the only thing you feel worthy of. You feel like a low worthiness of being here, or a low worthiness of love, and therefore you will attract people who treat you like that. To get my point, it's something like that. Okay. Overall energy here, I get the dream. The dream, something is revealed, insight and breakthrough. That's what it talks about. And here we have the woman again, and the moon, right? Almost a similar image as I showed you before, but with the closed card, right? The one where we couldn't see. And probably maybe a dream is going to reveal something about a lost love. Or something about love in general, what that means. Because what does it mean to love someone? What is love? I think we can have a lot of explanations about that. But I want to say, for at least for me, love cannot be forceful. The saying is something like, love is patient, love is kind. I don't know, something like you can't push or pressure love. Something like that, right? And I believe that's true. I believe that then it's not love. It may be desire, it may be lust, it may be a lot of stuff, but it's not love. And especially not what we call unconditional love. Unconditional love means that you accept another person totally, fully. No matter what they do, no matter how they look, how they smell, how they behave, you love them. And that's like the total acceptance of who someone is to you, right? To you. Another thing I believe about love is it's kind, it's friendly. It could be that we talk about love is it's kind, it's friendly, it's patient, and it's not judging, right? It's not judgmental. We can ask ourselves, how would we like our best friend to be? What kind of friend do we want, right? Do we want a superficial one because of superficial things, or do we want someone we can relate to very closely, someone who we can share secrets with, or because we know they wouldn't tell anyone, right? They would accept us anyway. What kind of friend would be the best friend ever? Right? Is it the superficial one that goes to the football games and you drink beer with every Thursday, right? Or is it someone you can also go to if you are really sad or hurting? Can you do both? Or is it just the one you call for a drink because you are bored? What kind of relationships do we want? Like truly, really? And for instance, something like loyalty and respect. Right? And again, now I come back to this idea about the employees. Which one? If you treat someone with respect and support, you listen and you encourage, you're not putting pressure on to perform something now, today, maybe. We know that, right? We know that evolution or development takes time. But sometimes we don't want to wait for it, right? We want it now. We want an instant satisfaction for something, perhaps. And I just get the feeling in this case, it's like, it's almost like if you are forcing it, you can jinx it. Like if you're forcing it, you can kill it or you can destroy it. The possible beauty of something could be destroyed if you try to push it. So that's what I feel like. It's so be just look at the signs. Are you is it like you are It's like if you get a new boyfriend or girlfriend and they are moving into your apartment, right? They take some of their stuff with them, clothes and toothbrush and more stuff over time, right? So your home is now not your home. It's a combined home. It's your things and their things. But it's now different. It's not the same when you lived alone. Now something else is mixed into the picture. And when you do that, it's changing something. A dynamic is changing. And we can't expect that someone is moving in and everything is still the same. My stuff is standing in the same places, and they can only have a little drawer over in the corner, right? If someone is moving in, or you are moving in with someone else, the dynamic is changing. It will change. Of course it will. It's now a dynamic in process. It's a dynamic that is of relationship that is building into something else. The home is not longer just my home, but it's a shared home, right? So then something new is growing, right? Our home is now here, and we figure out how this gets to be. Not the first day, not the second day, but maybe within a year or two or something, we have figured something out. And that's what I feel like. It's something that and it may be a dream that suddenly comes to you or reveals something. It says insight and breakthrough. Something is revealed through a dream, perhaps. Can be a daydream also, but any kind of dream. Now I'm suddenly hearing something like, I don't know if there's a film called The Dream. I don't know. Is there a film out there called The Dream? There probably is, but I don't know what it is. But that I'm called to say this. Maybe it's a dream that you have forgotten about, and now you're suddenly kind of like a deja vu. You're reminded of it. Maybe it's something you have tried to figure out for a period of time, and by releasing that and leaving it alone, maybe now it has gotten to a place where you are ready now to figure out what this was about, this dream, or this it could be a sense of like small in your mind, or let's say you've had a dream and you have been dreaming this dream many times, but you only see glimpses of something, and now it's like maybe something more is revealed about that dream, but by not hunting the dream, by not trying to overanalyze what this is, by maybe just leaving it be. Now suddenly something more is ready to be revealed, perhaps here. At the bottom of the deck I get healing. So there's a beautiful energy here for you, Aries. I want to say reconnecting with your true nature. And here I instantly have the feeling of Zen garden again, right? This the heart here, right? In the trunk I often see a bit like body, something about how healthy is the tree to stand. If your trunk is healthy, meaning your body, but also you could say everything that feeds the body, not only the water through the roots, but also the environment around the tree here. How how does this tree come into being? Did it have a good soil to grow in? Was it nurtured, cared for? Was it allowed space to actually like claim its space somehow, claim its right to be here somehow? Or was it like, did it had to grow up between a lot of big trees and there were actually not much soil? So it had to just like kind of find its way through something. In this case, it feels like big, strong, solid, quite straight, like straight spine, confidence here. That's the underlying energy. So it could be that something really needs to be healed. And it will help you to stand more tall, perhaps. As I said, something about dignity and worthiness, maybe it's going to help you feel more worthy. Have more dignity about who you are. I don't know if you can hear in the background, there's someone drilling. So I'm sorry if that is disturbing you from time to time during this reading. But the moon is here still, so there could be something you need to go through, some emotions perhaps. The moon can be quite tricky, right? It's usually the feelings we don't like, right? The feelings of sadness and despair and anger and misery. The feeling of being out in the cold, perhaps. Everything is dark here, right? Monsters live in the dark, right? Could be the feeling that the world is a scary place. I don't feel safe, or there can be secrets here and illusions here. So the moon is quite tricky about in this case, and therefore I say get to know your moon sign, because it's I think the moon energy for all of us shows us something. It shows us that especially as scapegoats, I want to say it's something that has pushed something else aside, or it has pushed something else down. In this case, maybe the Zen garden, the feeling of I'm safe in the world, I'm happy, I am confident, I have the right to be here, I'm loved, I'm protected, I am in a beautiful supporting family, right? If that was not the case, your Zen garden can be very destroyed. Maybe you only have burning trees, burning black trees in your Zen garden. And how do you grow your confidence from that, right? Okay, let's have a look. Okay, I have this one. Okay, this one jumped out, so let's have a look. The devil in reverse here. Yeah, there's something I feel like you are maybe an ability to let something go, something that has tied you down. You can see the image here in upright. How this guy, he has a way here of, like, I see him as a puppeteer, right? That he's steering these two humans here, two smaller humans here. He's steering them, right? Feeling like you may have been in the feeling of like a curse, like repeating curse situation, or you had some kind of bond with someone that was seemingly unbreakable or not easy to break. Something that has kept you in some kind of loop, perhaps what I call a hell loop, like repeating thoughts, patterns, and repeating behaviors. that is actually controlled by fear or shame or blame or guilt, but because it has only been playing out in your subconscious mind, you didn't know consciously perhaps, maybe it is repressed, then you had no idea how to work with this. You had no idea how to release it, perhaps let go of it. You could just see yourself repeat patterns. For instance, when we recognize we repeat patterns, this is where I feel like we have to be a little more attentive. That if we see ourselves repeat patterns, for instance in love, the same thing happens. The same kind of partner type happens. It's the same dynamic. I end in the same dynamic where my inner sanctuary feels threatened, or where I feel this shadow over myself. I feel that something is not right here. If you have repeating patterns of that, it's like your soul is asking you to see this, figure this out, right? Figure it out. Another one, the sun in reverse here. Father energy, but it talks about confidence. It talks about the sun, the shine, the sense of glory, worthiness, spotlight, go-getter energy, confidence, the strong willpower, but it came out in reverse here, right? So there's something that has put a block on. Your sun is also happiness, joy, freedom, the sense of being able to move freely, safety. You could say fame, success, victory. That's also sun energy, right? It's a happy, life-fulfilling, free-feeling, free-flowing, free-flying energy. And of course we would like that one, but if we don't feel it, if we feel the opposite, this is where maybe it's important to recognize, are there patterns in my life? Have I been repeating patterns with partners, with job situations, with business situations? Have I seen myself struggle more than once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and with some of the same qualities to it somehow? And with that feeling that you had not been able to figure it out, right? You had not been able to figure out, why is this? Why is it that it seems like something is repeating? What is it that I'm doing wrong? Or what is it that why do I find myself here all the time? Okay. So let's have some cards here. How do you want to put these cards for Aries, please? This is interesting. Okay, so one here. Well, the very first message was no cards. But it's like, it's almost like if someone has no confidence on their own, they wouldn't know, even if they could sort out all of these cards, they wouldn't know which one to put here. If they don't feel worthy, if they don't feel confident, they wouldn't know which one to put here. It's almost like having no will at all. That feeling, I don't know what to put here. If I could choose, I don't know what to put here. Like the feeling of not having a goal, or not have priority, or not have a sense of passion maybe. I don't know what to put here. Even if I could choose of all the cards here, perhaps, even all the cards I have, I don't know which one to put here. That's not very Aries-like, is it? But then I got, like I should put one card here. And I was shown a bit like a well, like a deep, deep well, like that. And this one is at the bottom, at the well. But it could be that you need to swim down and find it, right? That you can't, if you feel there's nothing, and then you would like the passion to magically appear like that, you can't do that. That there's probably layers to the story. There's layers of something you need to work your way through, or build in a certain way to have access to this. There's layers, or there's like stairs down, right, to figure this out. It's almost like the knowledge, the hidden knowledge that you need, or what may be revealed from the dream, is at the bottom of the ocean, or at the bottom of this well somehow. Like a wishing well, right? It's down here, the recipe, the golden coin, the answer, the change, the key to your lock, the devil lock, the magical sword that can cut the cord, or whatever this is. It's like it's at the bottom of a well, or that's how I was shown it. And you need to work your way through those layers until you are given this one. Because if you get it too soon, the things you learn from like swimming down to the bottom of the well, the things you learn here, the fears you face, the things you overcome, the realizations you have, the darkness you are in, the monsters you encounter down the well here, they teach you something which would not happen if I would just give this to you like that, right? So the teaching, the lessons, the things you have to realize, or the things you have to overcome, or the sense of confidence you have to grow to actually dive that deep, the bravery that you need to do that, it wouldn't come if I just gave this to you. Here you are, right? It's like there's a need to go through a certain element of process to get to this. But I also get the feeling like I have a card up here, like from the starting point where you start, and then down there. So this is like the card up here. I'm putting it here. And then I need an what's that called? Underlying energy here, 4 of Swords. So the 4 of Swords is typically a card of worrying, being worried. And when we worry, we tend not to do much. We tend to be occupied with our mind, the swords here. And the swords are tricky. They can keep us in a loop of worrying about stuff. stuff that potentially could happen, but maybe it's never going to happen. And when that happens, it sometimes makes us procrastinate. It makes us wait. It makes us sit here. But look at him. He has become all old and maybe also sad. We see how there are algae or something growing on him here. He has been sitting here for so long. Grass between his feet here. I also hear forgotten, like he's been forgotten here. I get the feeling he has been sitting and waiting here for something. For someone to come to him maybe. And he has been sitting and waiting, but waiting so long, so now that it's like, like he's forgotten. Something is forgotten, and that makes sense if you have, as I said here, the key to something to maybe make him stand up and go towards the dreams he has, or to take action and overcome his worry. The reason why he's not standing up, because he has forgotten how to, right? He has forgotten something here. Something is forgotten. Something is hiding or hidden. Something is here, perhaps. We don't know who this is, right? This can be like a troll. It can be a grandfather, right? It can be someone who is elderly. It can be old knowledge that you have repressed or something. Maybe he looks like that because he was forgotten. He was repressed or he was denied. Maybe he is hiding here. Hiding so much that he was never found and therefore forgotten. Something you have forgotten. Something you have maybe even repressed and then forgotten about. Something that is in the subconscious mind, still there, but just sitting there, waiting to be found, right? Something like that. I put it down here. So this is underlying energy for what may be occurring at this time for you. This is at the bottom of the well here. This is the reason why something is happening. It's because and maybe that's why you need to dream about it, because it's only through the dream state that we get access to the subconscious mind, something forgotten or repressed here. I put him over here actually. I feel like he should be with her. Something forgotten, and you only get maybe glimpses of something, or you get access in as I said, steps. You get some kind of access, but not full access. And then some time goes by, and then you get another a sense of access. You get a little more. You get to see a little more of your dream, or of some kind of experience, perhaps. So I almost get the feeling it's like through a dream state here, you may have the ability to connect with something here that is forgotten. But there may be a reason why he keeps sitting here. Maybe he was told to sit here and stay or hide, right? Take it how it resonates. It sorts energy, so this can be something, maybe some kind of perception, some kind of thought patterns that was not accepted, and therefore you told yourself, I have to hide this. I can never say and speak about this again, because if I do, I can get into trouble. So I hide this. It's an ability I have, right? I hide this, or a strength that I have, because if this guy actually comes up and he would eat right, exercise, he could be quite strong, perhaps, right? But because he has now been forced to sit here, he has become all gray and sad, and also because he's not in use, right? It's like a part of you, perhaps, is not used, a part of your brain, a part of your way of thinking, a part of your communication skills, a part of your maybe honesty. Honesty was maybe not appreciated. Honesty got you into trouble. So you figured out, I better hide that. But it's a part of you that feels forgotten. Or again, if people don't, if this is like a part of you or something that doesn't feel worthy to be used, like most people like the idea that they are useful, that people can actually, they like what they do. They like to be needed also, right? They like to be needed, to be of some kind of service in some sense. It's not nice to exist and nobody cares what you do, right? Nobody cares. Sometimes it's nice that someone call you and ask for your help, right? Because it means that you have value. It means that you have something worth that is of value to others. And somehow I get the feeling of maybe it's like some kind of part of you doesn't feel like it was valued. Nobody ever asked for it. Nobody ever appreciated it. Nobody ever thought of it as valuable. So it has been just sitting here and hoping that someone would call, right? Or someone would ask for this specific thing from you. But the time has just I don't know, it's probably some kind of Celtic symbol, but I may also almost see it a little bit like every time a year passes, I cut in the trunk, I cut something, right? I make a mark every year that nobody returned. I make a mark. And then I make another mark after 2 years and 3 years and so on. So someone could have been measuring or trying to measure how long time people are not really wanting my contact, or maybe this has been denied or forgotten about in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe up to 6 years here, maybe even longer. But you get my point, right? He's sitting here and becoming all old and gray, and algae are growing on him, and he's sad, perhaps just sitting here and waiting to be found. And he feels that everyone has forgotten about me because maybe I wasn't accepted, I wasn't appreciated. Take it how it resonates, what this represents for you, right? It can be a person in your life, it can be an old friend, it can be someone you haven't seen in a long time, who may feel like you left them somehow, or you may feel someone left you, all hanging, and you have been waiting for contact, right? Or you have been waiting to be accepted, or you have been waiting for reconciliation or something here. But I feel like it's like sitting here, and time just passes, right? Okay, let's have a see what I want to see the starting point up here before you may have started your journey, or you may have started your swim here. Knight of Swords. So I get several things with this card, but I want to say the Knight of Swords. Again, we have Swords energy here. So this has to do with your mind, how you think, how you perceive stuff, how you remember situations. And this is important if you are remembering something from your childhood. Remember that you had a view through a child's eye. Maybe you didn't have the full story of something, but the point is that you have an experience, or you had a memory, but that memory is your memory, how you perceived it, with the knowledge you had at this time, how old you were, and so on, and then the emotions that come with it. And no matter whether you are 60 today, if you experience something traumatic or something out of the ordinary, something that shocked you when you were a child, those feelings and thoughts are legit and shouldn't be repressed or anything. So we have Swords energy here, as I feel they were forgotten, left, or repressed or something. And now we have the Knight of Swords here. Well, a knight is seemingly always brave. The knight is usually defending a kingdom, right? A king. It's an honor to be a knight. You wear the symbol of the kingdom, of the king. You have vowed to honor and serve something here. So maybe this was a choice you made once. That then when the journey started here, that I'm going to be brave and go through the layers that are required for me to go through. I hold that thought. While I go through something. While I realize something, while I get some kind of clarity. I will be brave. I will keep my sword up. I will learn and listen and educate myself here. I will keep the spirit up. I will be brave. I have vowed to myself, perhaps, that I'm doing something here. The Knight of Swords is typically something very quick incoming, with the sword raised for fight, ready for battle. We see him riding a mighty, like Taurus-like, ox-like, strong creature here. But when I looked at the card, it felt a little bit like the hooves were locked into the mud, like the beast couldn't move. And then I got an association with the Lord of the Rings, with the 7 rings of I believe there were 7 rings, but 1 ring above them all, right? Something like that. And it's like this guy is now sitting in, like the hooves are locked in and can't move. Again, this feeling of, I want to be a brave king or knight here. I want to follow and educate myself and learn and figure something out. But it's almost like the big beast here with the muscles and the strength and the fight power. It's almost like it's locked, that it can't move. Again, this feeling of like this one and this one is the same, and it can't move. It doesn't know how to. I almost get that as well. Like it's locked with the rings. It's almost like a curse or something. The feeling of being bound to these rings here, and I can't move. Or we could even say that the rings may represent the feeling of the tattooed woman, right? That you are bound to something, or you feel responsible about something. Some of the hearts on the body, maybe you still feel love, or you still feel connection with something that prohibits you from like taking the hoop out of this ring and move it to another one, right? And again, also the feeling that if I do that, how will that affect my inner sanctuary? I'm already feeling stuck. What if I put my hoof in another ring here? How is that going to help me, or what if it changes even more? But I still get the feeling of a sense of bravery. I have to try, right? I have to try to somehow again, here he sits with 4 swords, right? And he's alone. It's like he needs his rider, or he needs a friend, right? And now this one here is coming in here and is with him, right? Following one kind of persuasion, or one kind of perception here, one kind of truth perhaps, and trying to figure out how to help this beast get out, or this Taurus, this ox, and they have enormous strength, right? How to get out of those locked in hooves here. We see the birds here representative of the mind activity, like sending off the birds for help, right? Maybe asking the divine, maybe asking friends, family, how can I get myself out of this stuck feeling? Why do I feel so stuck here? And as I said, that's kind of the starting point, right? That you wanted to do something. You wanted to take very brave action towards something here. But it was like, yeah, I get the feeling that the ox couldn't move. It's like it's locked in. It's almost like we see him trying here, but the hooves are just not moving. And that could be this frustrating feeling, but I try to do this the right way. I have even educated myself, or I have gotten new knowledge. I have changed some of my ways of thinking, perhaps. Why can't I move? Why am I still kind of stuck, or why do I still feel that it's very much uphill here? Why is it that you could say my ox here, and I see this as a representative of the solar plexus, right? I see this as the solar plexus. Why is it not able to move? I have made my choice. I want to do something. Why is it that it seems like every time I try to, I find myself stuck in the same mud? The repeating patterns, perhaps. I see myself not moving. I'm still the same place, or it may feel like that. Even though I have changed something, even though I follow a different thought patterns or another belief system or something here. Why is nothing happening? Why am I still stuck here somehow? And again, this guy sitting here, I get the feeling it's the same thing. He is the solar plexus, right? Like they are the same, these two here. They try, and they try to look strong and brave, but actually, quite sad, worried, to take action, procrastinating. He's not ready, this one. Right? It's like, again, as I said, something like, if we see someone like this, what does he need? Let's say he has been sitting here for years waiting for someone to see him. Like, and he feels forgotten, like people have forgotten me. Whatever I am, it seems like I have no value. It seems like nobody is missing me. Nobody even have figured out that I'm not showing up at work anymore. Nobody's calling me. Nobody is really caring about me. I'm forgotten about, right? What does he need, this one? To maybe have like joy again and happiness, right? What does he need, this one? It's not enough just to say, oh, we just tell him to get up. He needs more than that, right? If he's, let's say this is someone with a depression here. Well, he needs encouragement, right? And he needs the feeling that someone actually cares. He needs to be maybe feeling that he has some kind of value, no matter how he looks, or how old he is, or how dirty he is, maybe, or something like that. Right? That he counts, and that he's not ugly, perhaps. I don't know, but what does he need, this one? He needs attention, maybe. Not in a feisty, fiery way, but maybe in a way where you sit down and just listen, hold his hand, tell him that you're sorry, that you didn't realize. Maybe you again, this can be something repressed in you, right? That you had to like disconnect with at some point. As I said, just a simple thing like honesty. Maybe you figured out, if I'm honest, I'm punished by my parents, right? So honesty is not really something that helps me. I rather put that honesty away. I hide it behind the tree here. But honesty can be a very valuable thing, right? In communication with people, romance situations, and so on. It's quite valuable, but if you feel like you got into trouble when you were honest, then honesty was maybe hidden and over time forgotten, and like it has no value. So just put it into your situation, whether this is a person or part of yourself, or, as I said, it may have to do with your confidence. Maybe your confidence got a hit by being honest. So now instead, you are not putting that foot forward. Instead, you worry, right? Just take it how it resonates for you here. And again, it's not enough just to choose with your mind force something, no matter how brave you were. If the underlying energy that is the one that actually needs to make the steps just feels still wounded, still feels unattended with, and not nurtured or not respected, not given any kind of attention, it has feelings, right? Maybe it has been sad or felt very neglected somehow. It's not enough to put yourself in the writer spot here and just choose something if the rest of you is not coherent with that. Do you get my point here? I try to, Okay. I really get the feeling there's a lot of strength here with this guy. There's a lot of strength, but it's like he I just hear no use. Like there's no use in even trying, or there's no use in me. Like I am of no use. I'm of no use. Okay. So let's have a look at this card here to see. I don't know if this is the bottom of the well. I was shown like the bottom of the well, but it could be, maybe it's midway. Like maybe you have gotten to this point and now this key is revealing something to you. That's why you have a breakthrough here. I don't know if there are more layers, right? So just take that how it resonates. I was shown it like a well and this was at the bottom, but maybe there are even more layers. Let's have a look here. Two of Cups. Yeah, it is the love thing here. Love is... I hear love is the reason, but love is also the remedy, I feel like. Love is the reason why you still... something about you not moving here. And why your ox is not moving, not taking any action, or doesn't feel confident enough, or you feel like you have a maybe lacking confidence, willpower, go-getter energy, why you procrastinate perhaps, why you sit like this guy. It's because I get the feeling, again, this like, it's of no use, I'm of no use. Like whatever I have here to offer, it's not valued. Someone doesn't see the value of it. And therefore I better hide it. I better just stay here. But also someone who feels very forgotten about, that this is, it's alive, it lives, it breathes, the heart is beating, but it's forgotten about, right? It's forgotten about. I get the feeling as this is about, well, this is love, right? The Two of Cups is an exchange between man and woman here. It's about both of them wanting to be with each other, the exchange. I get the feeling that a part of the problem or challenge with the go-getter energy, the confidence, has to do with feeling forgotten by someone here, feeling forgotten by someone. We see how she is actually crowning this one, right? It's like she sees him as worthy. She sees him as worthy of being her prince, right? Or her king here. When she puts on the crown here, it's because she sees him as worthy of becoming her husband, for instance. She sees him as worthy. It's like she's in charge, right? She's in charge of seeing him as worthy here. So she's the one who can choose whether she wants this one or not. But when she puts the crown on the head, it's like she has accepted him, right? She has accepted him, and she has accepted what he stands for, what he's like here. And I just get the feeling that maybe it didn't happen. Maybe she's actually not setting the crown on his head, but taking it off him, right? Maybe she is considering here, like tuning in on the energy and considering whether she should put it down, but she hasn't done it yet, right? It's like the crown was never put anywhere. Someone is still waiting. How do you figure? How do you, what's that called? How do you vote? Am I in or am I out, right? Someone is still waiting here. The feeling of being forgotten in my waiting, but I never got the result. Did you see me as worthy or didn't you? It's like the feeling of being left hanging here and then now forgotten about. Like forgotten about because someone took their time in voting and now maybe they forgot all about it. But someone is still sitting here and waiting for someone to put the crown on them. Or not, but make a choice, right? Someone is sitting and waiting for someone to make a choice. It feels like. And they probably never got an answer. It would be this feeling of, I asked someone to marry you. I asked someone to marry me. I lay here on my kneeling knees, asking you to marry me. But I never get an answer. I never get a yes and I never get a no. It's like it's still in a process of something. And someone has been waiting for that here. Loyally waiting. But also feels very much forgotten about here. And maybe you will realize something about a situation here that someone was, maybe you weren't aware of it. Maybe it was very a clear yes and no. Do you want me or don't you want me? But maybe it wasn't that clear. Maybe it's something you're realizing now with the dream here, that the encounter you had with someone, it actually ended up like that. It ended up becoming this sense of a voting system. Sorry about that. A sense of that there was some sense of voting, or that the encounter you had at some point was, or the encounter you had with love in general, it feels conditional. This card is normally not conditional love, but it feels conditional to me, like I had to be approved by someone here. I had to be approved, and I'm still waiting for the approval of being worthy and good enough here, to be loved by you here, someone here. Someone you were very much in love with, and just take it how it resonates. If this is a very deep down in your healing process, this can be parents, right? But it's like needing the approval of the mother or needing the approval of the father, and still waiting for it. It feels like unfinished, like it's never set down. It's also never taken away. It's still there somehow. And he's waiting. Someone is waiting here for approval, but it never came. And therefore I'm still hiding it, or I'm still repressing it. And now it has gotten to the point that it's very old, perhaps. It has become an old problem or an old issue, an old still standing issue inside you. Maybe a rejection that a part of you were not approved by. It was not crowned. So this some situation here, maybe it was someone you were married to, but you could only get the approval if you were hiding this, whatever this is. And it's still there, right? It never got approved. It never got appreciated. You're still hiding it. You're still not showing it. You're still not maybe honest about it. And therefore, something is still prohibiting you from taking some kind of action here. Maybe because you don't feel worthy, right? You don't feel approved of. Maybe you were never approved of as a child. Maybe you never was considered as you had value, right? Being crowned means that you can be the predecessor. You can become the next in line, right? You're the crown prince. You will be the king eventually. It means that you're worthy of the title, right? You're worthy of the title. You're worthy of the regime or the reign. You're worthy of the kingdom. You have potential. You have what it takes, right? But I just get the feeling you never got that approval somehow. You never got the approval. You never got the stamp, right? You never got the... and in this case, it has to do with like the approval of love from someone. And that's why we had the tattooed woman, lost love, right? It feels lost now. The approval will never come. The acceptance, the worthiness will never come. And he just grows uglier and uglier because that's how he feels. He feels that by every year here, he feels more and more sad, more and more forgotten about, more and more not valued, more and more buried, more and more useless. So that kind of feeling, that's what I get here. So there could be something about like this sense of, am I good enough? Am I worthy enough? And we need that from our parents. We need that from any close relationship, I feel like like a nurturing, good, supportive connection, but also the feeling that someone can see our potential, right? This one is maybe not a king yet, but this woman here is seeing the potential, and her behavior is shaping him, right? When she crowns him, she gives him a thumbs up, right? She says, I believe in you. I believe in you, my prince. I believe you can become a king. I trust in your abilities. I trust in your strength, your power, right? I trust in your strength, right? I trust in your ability to defend me. I see you as a worthy partner. I believe that you have what it takes to build something with me. I see you as strong and confident. I see you as beautiful and loving. I see you as attractive and strong and wise, right? You see the point that if she does that to him, he will grow up and become very strong, right? But if she doesn't, then he may sit like that, still waiting here. And I get the feeling of the lost love situation. If you have seen patterns, maybe that's why. It's like there is some sense of an approval you never got. You never got the thumbs up, right? You never got the, I believe in you, my dear. I believe in you, my son or daughter. It's not gender specific about the woman here and man. It can be in your case maybe, or others, but it doesn't have to be. It's this idea that normally these two would exchange the crowns here because they see each other's value. They see each other's worthiness. They love each other for who they are, not what they are hiding, right? Not a superficial connection, not cups energy. It's not that. This is a heart connection. And it's the heart connection that makes them worthy to each other, because they do care for each other. They love each other very much. And therefore, the physical appearance, the job situation, or the money, it's not that drives this situation. They do see each other as worthy, right? But it's just not what I got from the card. This is what you're looking for. This is what you want. You hope for this, right? This is what you're looking for. But it's never what you got. You didn't get the approval. Someone didn't see you. Maybe this has to do with someone you had very great feelings for at some point. You thought they were your one, right? You thought this was the one for me. This is my soulmate. I love them so much. But they didn't recognize you as a soulmate. They didn't give you the approval. They never returned, I want to say. They never returned, so someone is still waiting here, or still, it's like an unfinished feeling of business, and therefore you're still stuck here somehow. Like an inability to move somehow, or like engage in something new, because it's not done with. Something broke your heart. This is the next card. Underneath the Four of Swords here we have the Three of Swords. This is a broken heart. Needing to release someone here. Like maybe they literally died, but otherwise maybe you are not with them anymore. You had to let them go somehow. You had to release yourself from them. But if this is someone you love dearly, it breaks your heart to do that. They were your son, right? Could be a father here, could be a mother, but very strong, solid person here, whom you really wanted this appreciation from, right? You wanted the value, to be valued by them. You wanted to be with them and have fun and joy and experience the glory and the beautiful, beautiful times here. It's like losing the one who had the strength, right? Leo energy with the sun here. Maybe someone who had Leo somewhere in their chart, but it's just this. Maybe you saw them as your sun, right? That this was the one for you, but you had to somehow let them go. And so interesting, we see the stallion here, right? And look at the magician card coming next, where this is in the background as a almost shadowy. It's like it becomes like a shadow, right? It's almost like, let's say, someone was literally dying here. You had to bury this one. You lost the love. The one who was your stallion here, the one, it could be a father energy, a man, or a masculine energy. But the masculine energy can be in a woman body, right? So it's someone who was your light here. Like they had the strength, the power, the joy, the fun, the happiness. They were your light here. They were the confidence. This was the willpower. They had all of that. But you lost them somehow. You lost them. And now it's like, it's just a memory, right? Maybe it's the feeling that if I go into magician mode, if I meditate and if I use rituals or something, it's like I can have contact with them, like deceased contact, right? Or it's like they're still with me. They're still here with me. Somehow, if I allow myself to dream, for instance, as I said, go into the subconscious mind, if I go into rituals, moon rituals, for instance, with the magician energy, if I do moon rituals, if I go into meditation, if I use other kind of ways of connecting with the subconscious or other realms, I have an ability sometimes to connect with them. It's like they're with me. But I also get the feeling, because the magician for me can also talk about transformative time, someone who wants to transform, let into goal, to do something impossible. So what are you trying to do? Are you trying to bring them back? Are you trying to revive something in you, perhaps? Bring something back. It could be the sense of soul retrieval, like needing to draw something back somehow, or reconnect with something. I feel it's here. It's here. But vaguely, it's here, right? And it's still shadowy. There's no sun here. Not like this one. Right? This card feels more like this to me. Moon like energy with the lantern here. Using moon energy, so maybe you use psychic abilities here. Moon energy is connected with Cancer, so very intuitive, very psychic, very intuitive, very emotional, could be telepathic, a sense of connecting with something, but it's still kind of vague. or it's only from time to time you somehow connect with some of this. But interesting how these cards really mirror each other here, with these two, right? But it could also be the feeling like I want to move forward in my life. And I want to move forward in my life, using whatever means possible to get myself from A to B. But this is here with me still. And to take action, to have the willpower and bravery to actually go for what I want, it's like this is a constant reminder of something, right? And it's not the same, right? There's no bright sun here. Then I have the World card, and here we see a stallion again, right? It comes across almost like wanting to have like contact with someone from the other realm. Now this comes across like a crystal ball for me, like having an ability to look into something and talk, have contact with whoever this is, using some kind of magician tactic here, through a shaman, through tarot cards, through a crystal ball, through crystals, through pendulum, or through a medium or something, like having a contact with someone. Right, but and now it comes across. Well, the World card talks about an ending. This is like it's like closure. You need closure here. Still sitting here. Oh, the mic fell off. Yeah, like the connection is not good enough, right? Sorry about that. I'm repeating. Going to repeat this when I have my mic back on here. As I said here, I hope you could still hear me, but it's the feeling of wanting to get contact with something that needs closure, right? It needs to be closed off, because you don't want to sit and wait here anymore, right? You don't want. Let me just see if I can get this in here somehow. You don't want to sit and wait here anymore. It's like unfinished business. I need an answer here to somehow move on. The approval never came. I was forgotten about. I wasn't given any answer, whether I was good enough or to have value, whether I was valuable enough. Someone didn't recognize me as a soulmate, perhaps, and I've been waiting. A part of you has been waiting for some kind of answer here, and has become more and more sad in the process here, and feeling more and more forgotten about. And now it feels like someone wanting closure by some means here. Potentially, as I said, a shaman helping you, maybe a medium, maybe especially if someone is deceased here. A medium, maybe a clairvoyant, maybe you use some kind of ritual to get yourself in a state of reception where you can connect with something here. Something that was the big love here of your life. Someone who was very strong, very confident, very... maybe you are using soul retrieval to get something, if this has to do with your own confidence. You're like wanting to draw it back here. It's vague, right? But I see it as a crystal ball. It's almost like you want to have a contact with someone here, to have closure. The World card talks about closure or the ending of a cycle or a life lesson. The end you have when you come to the World card. This is the last card in the Major Arcana. This is where you close off a cycle. This is where the cycle is ending. This is where you learned your lesson. This is where you get to the end station of something here. And after this card, we have the Fool card again. So we start a new journey because now you learned something. You have released something. You got yourself out of a ring, perhaps here. You got yourself out of a ring. Some kind of cycle, some kind of repeating pattern, some kind of the feeling of a binding bond. Maybe we talk about a marriage ring, where the marriage still feels current. So the ring here needs to come to an end. Maybe that's what we talk about. The feeling that even if someone is not alive anymore, or you let go of them, you had to release them, it's still there. The ring almost feels like it's still there, right? And it's like they are so present in your life that you can't go for new rings, right? You can't enter into a new cycle with someone else, because something is unfinished here somehow. It needs closure, and maybe you decide to use some kind of magical power here, energy work or something. Release work, soul healing work, hypnotherapy, whatever means this is for you, to release something, to change something that feels like it's very difficult maybe to change from lead into gold. It's not normal. It's not. Maybe you use alternative medicine here, or alternative rituals or something, alternative practitioners here to help you regain something, recall something, to get closure about something here. Because you need closure. You need some kind of closure here. Maybe it's like looking through a crystal ball, right? Or peeking through an eye or a doorknob, right? It's the possibility to just have a look at them again, or to just have them say something. Have them say something, right? And we have the owl here. It's almost like you want to send a message to them on the other side or something. You want them to know something here. The owl is quite wise. It's not an owl. It's like a hawk. Right. So it's the feeling of maybe wanting to see something from a different perspective, having a new vision about something. Maybe you realize something here about them. You have a new truth maybe about them. Maybe we talk about literally having contact with the deceased because of an unresolved situation in your life that is actually blocking you in some sense here. And maybe a dream here is going to help you. Dream work, maybe it's dream work that you are using here to have some kind of closure or contact or answer to something. Maybe we talk about using dream work or dream journaling here with the dream here. as an option to have the closure you need, some kind of breakthrough. Maybe you dream about the person, or you want to go into lucid dreaming because you want to look for certain answers here. Psychically, intuitively, telepathically, because you want this to end. Something that is unfinished needs an ending, and maybe you will never have someone come back and say something to you. So maybe you need to close this. Maybe you need to close it, right? Because it's not helping you. Maybe that's why you send in the hawk here. I have to take matters into my own hand. I decide. I choose. I go by a new truth. I make a choice here that this needs to end, right? I need to close this cycle. But it seemingly has been very difficult for you. Otherwise, you would have done it a long time ago, I think. So whoever this is, this was very difficult. And we saw the devil come out in reverse. Maybe there has been some toxicity here that wasn't recognized at some point here. Okay, let's have... but it's definitely something that broke your heart. The Three of Swords is a heartbreak here. Okay, so let's have I would like some cards on the Two of and I say some cards. So can we have 2 cards perhaps on the Two of Cups here? I think I want that. 2 cards please on the Two of Cups. We want a little more knowledge here about this. And I'm really feeling very sad about this guy. He's been waiting for a long time, very patiently, because he loves her, perhaps. He has been waiting for a long time, very loyal, waiting to be approved, acknowledged, seen as worthy, seen as good enough, or just recognized as a soulmate, right? But I feel like the answer never came. Someone never came back. Someone never replied, or you never got the email, you never got the something. You never got the communication. You never got the approval, the thumbs up stamp, right? You never got the crown. You were never ordained here. Yeah, exactly. You see, I can't make this up here. The Knight of Cups in reverse, someone never came back. They never came in with the cup. And you have been sitting and waiting here. This is procrastinating. This is sitting and waiting by the tree. Look at it, sitting and waiting by the tree here. Reminiscing about the cups here, still standing. Because you still love someone here. And even if the divine tries to come in with another offer, this one can't move because he's still occupied by this. I just feel like he has been sitting here for such a long time. This guy became this one. And feels forgotten about, right? That he has no value. Someone who you care about very strongly here never came back. They were lost forever. I love them and I put myself in a waiting situation. I hope they will come back. I love them here, but They never did. And years have passed by here, I think. And at some point he had all his youth here. And now look at him. I can't make this up. It's like waiting for someone to come in with a love offer, but they never really came. They never came in here, right? It was not reciprocated, or you never got the answer. You just got to sit and wait here. I even want to say maybe you hoped for the cup to come in here, right? Maybe you hoped for this one to come in, and offer the cup back to you, but they never did. They never came. They never came. This was maybe on your mind. Why are they not coming? I hold on to my cups here and wait for them, but why are they not coming? Right? It's like the divine wants to you to know that there is love for you, but you are so occupied with something here. And you never got the answer, the approval. You never got the thumbs up. You never got a feeling that someone liked you. You never saw something loving from them. They never told you specifically that they cared, right? And maybe you've been waiting ever since for someone to actually return. But I just get the feeling it's like someone feels very forgotten about. Someone feels very heartbroken. But I also, when I have this was underlying energy, right? The underlying energy is that something has been sitting and waiting here. In you, around you. Maybe you've been waiting for someone. But it's because something wasn't approved. It wasn't accepted. It wasn't regarded as valuable. Maybe it was regarded as useless. Someone couldn't use you. Someone couldn't, not use, but someone couldn't accept you or accept something in you. And maybe you had to hide it, and it never was revived. It never came back. It was never shown any kind of appreciation or love or something. Like a troll here. It's not something attractive. This guy doesn't feel attractive, right? He's not chosen this one. Nobody chooses this one. Whatever this is, right? It is a sword energy, so maybe it's some thought patterns you have that are unattractive. Ways of thinking that are unattractive. Or when you use them, or when you go down that line, you end up become very worried and very indecisive, perhaps. Take it how it resonates, but it's just this guy. We see that there's algae growing here. He has been hidden or not used or deemed unacceptable a long time ago. This one. So whether it's a person, your own thought patterns, a part of yourself, something like that, it has been not accepted, hidden, forgotten about, something like that. And it has to do with someone not giving you an answer, or not approving of you, or not coming back, not replying, leaving you hanging somehow, I feel like. And putting something to rest, like letting go of it. This has probably broken your heart, to let go of someone. Whether they died or whether they are still alive somewhere else, it has teared your heart apart. And it feels like you lost something vital, right? And it's something you can't rule with your mind. It's like it's in your body. It's in your DNA. It's like you can't. This one is not moving, right? Because he's sad. Maybe it's something about you that is, because this one can also be dangerous, right? If he's not somehow controlled a little bit here, he can be very dangerous. Maybe you have some features that are dangerous, unattractive in that way. But it's still part of you, right? It's still, and because it's not like accepted as a part of you, a part of you is sad here, right? I want to have a card on this. Somehow I was drawn to take this one for the Four of Swords here, and then I need a fairy card also on this card. This one actually speaks a lot to me, and it speaks about healing, underlying energy from the Gaia Oracle here. Very important, right? That this little guy here sitting here, he needs to realize that he doesn't need outside approval. He needs heart healing here. And how do we give someone like that, whether it's a part of yourself or someone you know, what does he need, this guy, right? To heal and feel more happy. And it's like a part of your inner sanctuary. Your inner sanctuary is the whole of you, all of you. And it's like a part of you was not approved. So how can you have an inner sanctuary if a part of you never got love, never was approved, never got accepted, right? So there's a heart healing needed here. And you may never get the approval from someone here. And maybe that's why the World card was there. You need to tie the knot yourself. You need to give yourself approval. You need to heal that heart here. Because someone else seemingly is not coming back here and doing it for you. Maybe that's what the life lesson was about. That someone outside of yourself cannot heal this thing for you. You can do that, but it's and it comes through some a choice to do that. It's probably not going to be fast healing. It needs time, recognition. It needs nurture, understanding. Reparenting, inner reparenting maybe. Yeah, and see, I have hidden path here now, as a clarifier for the Four of Swords, and then this card as at the bottom of the deck again, right? There's definitely something about a lost love here, needing to release something and heal something. So now this is twice that this shows up, but I get this card for the Four of Swords, and this was underlying energy for these cards. So this is going to support the underlying energy, and it says a hidden path here. So you're going through some kind of path, but it says hidden, and he felt he was forgotten, right? So it's like something is... It says the marriage of spirit and matter. So something forgotten or hidden here. You're working with something that has been hidden or forgotten. The marriage of spirit and matter. So yeah, it's and this could be your spirit then, right? This could be the feeling of your spirit self that has been hidden or forgotten, that you haven't been able to connect with somehow. A part of yourself, or something that wasn't given attention at some point or approved of. Again, the feeling that working with, like, the idea of working with spirit has not always been approved, right? In the spiritual community, this is something we talk about, but many have been growing up in lives where there were no spirituality, no church, going to church, no prayers, no like deities in their life. They only had themselves and their parents and their family. So this could be the idea that you forgot about, or you have a hidden opportunity to work with your spirit guides, but this has been forgotten. This has been left behind. This has maybe been seen as useless, or even dangerous, or bad, wrong, ugly. So you see, now we have a new way of seeing this, that if this has to do with, and now I get also the idea of the magician here, working in darkness, because this is probably something that wasn't very approved of. So if you try to reconnect with spirit here, yeah, this is where you reconnect with something else inside you. But maybe doing it a bit hidden, because it's not very approved of, maybe even regarded as dangerous, as wrong, illegal, or unethical, or something like that. But it's something that feels forgotten about. So it's like awakening something that you have forgotten all about. Something that is in you, but you have forgotten all about it. It's dormant. But I still get the feeling it's not just dormant, it's also shamed. Like he's unhappy. This one is unhappy. He's not chosen. He is regarded as he has no value, useless, ugly, old, even dangerous, bad. He never got the thumbs up. They never got the approval. He got the opposite. That's what I feel. Yeah, now I get it, why I should have this card here. This actually makes sense to me. And again, it says hidden, and we say dream here. So you cannot find a conscious way. You cannot use your conscious willpower to get to the spirit, to the dormant one, the one who is sleeping. Maybe you only have access to this through your sleep, through unconscious states of being, trance, or hypnosis, or sleep-like state. This is the only way, right? You cannot just make up your mind and say, now I want to connect with my spirit, because this one needs to be nurtured. It needs you to prove, I feel like, or say that you trust it. You trust to do this. Not just choose it, but you actually trust it. And if you have not been trusting it all your life, if you have repressed this because you were taught that this was dangerous, this was something that needed to be held in check, this was something that needed to be bound, this was something that couldn't move freely, this is dangerous, this is something you can't trust, this is ugly, this is too if you let this out, it can destroy the entire house, the entire city. If this is not held in check somehow, if this is not controlled, it can be very dangerous. So this can even talk about an inner process where you have to honor something. You have to approve within yourself that you are going to connect with your spirit again. Right? It's not about them coming back. You also choosing that I'm going to have faith and trust in something. Something I lost at one point. Something I hold very dearly. Again, the cups here. I lost this once. And now I want to reconnect with it. I chose to repress it and even forget about it or almost forget about it, because I get the feeling it's still there somehow. But maybe you didn't know how to get it back, right? You didn't know how to reconnect somehow here. It seemed like it never came back. And I think the only way is through maybe heart healing here and giving it time, allowing something to come back, and through trust, right? And that's what I feel like. You can't just force it back. It's something that needs time and you need to somehow figure out where there is passage. Like the passage through, can you see that? Like the passage through here. The eye of a needle. This is an ankh. Which I believe is a very ancient symbol also about spirituality. So it's almost like you need to figure out how to get a passage. Now it's here again, this feeling of needing to create a portal, a passage through something. As I said, with like a crystal ball or something, it's like needing to create some kind of passage to reconnect with something here. And how you do that, if you use the like tarot cards, or you use oracle cards, you use the pendulum, you use a medium, some kind of like a shaman, maybe. Maybe you use a hypnotherapist to help you reestablish some kind of connection here. But I feel one of the most important thing is trust and time, and love, like no force here, somehow. It feels. Oh, it's because it's not the right deck. I said I wanted fairy cards, didn't I? And this doesn't work. It's almost like it's arguing with me, like it's not, like I'm not the right deck. I said I wanted a fairy card on the Four of Swords here as well. It's the feeling of needing to revive something, wanting to revive something, but also I feel like it has gotten to the point that it's almost like too forgotten, too old, and it's sad. Like there's a sadness here to it. And I think the one like the one who's sitting here is sad, right? But if you are the one who wants to connect with the spirit again, you are sad too, right? You feel the lost love. Like it's a feeling of being disconnected from yourself somehow. Feeling disconnected from yourself, or from spirit, from something deeper. And the reason is because it was never approved. It was never... Yeah, there's something here about... So just take it how it resonates for you here. It could be the other way around. It could be that your spirit is very strong. You recognize someone as your soulmate here, but they didn't. So we have the feeling here of someone didn't recognize you, and you recognize them strongly here. Through spirit, you recognize them. But matter didn't react, right? The matter didn't react. Those that are still living very much from the 3D realm, not spiritually connected at all, they live in matter. They live so embedded in matter, and not in spirit, and therefore they didn't recognize it. That is forgotten, right? It's not. It wasn't seen. It wasn't accepted. So it's almost like creating this sense of portal or passage to somehow get these two to see each other, or get these two to see each other and work together, right? It could even be this feeling that when I say it in those terms, it's like someone living very much in spirit, like with a high sense of love feeling. But we live in the 3D realm, and therefore we need material stuff as well. We need a roof over our head. We need to pay the bills. So maybe someone here is actually having trouble with the physical manifestation, the matter manifestation. Needing a solid bull here to be able to go out there and get it and do stuff and work and use all his muscles, but instead he's sitting here. Take it how it resonates for you here, right? But it can be vice versa here. Okay, let's have another card, a fairy card on this Four of Swords. Tailing the Sylph. Interesting. And at the bottom of the deck we get the journeyman. The journeyman is the one that goes and get out, like the fool. Like, he's the one that trusts that everything is going to be great. I leave home now and I'm going to go out there and prove myself because I know I can do this, right? That's the journeyman. And now we get Tailing the Sylph. She reminds me of Tinkerbell, right? A little glowy fairy. But again, we could talk about spirit here. And yeah, it's like I don't get much from her actually. And I think it's because it's not allowed or not approved, or it's sleeping. It's dormant. But it's not just dormant. It's almost like a no-go sign on it. Like, don't go there. It's like it's not. It's like this is not a good path to choose. So therefore, we put a no-go sign on it, right? And it makes it sad, right? It sits in sadness here somehow because it's not used. It's so strong and so big here, but it's not used. It's regarded as bad, false, maybe ugly or dangerous or of no use, maybe not reliable. And now I even get something like rusty, like it hasn't been used for a very, very, very long time. So it's out of practice, when I look at her, it's like it's like looking at I get the feeling of like a sleeping astronaut. If you see a video film and about people in spacecrafts, like in where there's no gravity, they just float around. They just float around sleeping. That feeling, that's what I get from her. Like she's just floating around, sleeping somehow. Okay, let me get the book here and see what else she talks about this one. Just a minute. So, Tailing the Sylph talks about acute intellect, quickness, mental synthesis, and discernment. So, Tailing glitters and glimmers brightly. She scatters a special fairy dust that energizes the mind. However, energy is not everything, and the fairy dust that actually makes a mind brighter as well as more energized is more rare. And she distributes it much less often. She's full of curiosity and wants to go everywhere, see everything, and have every question answered. Like the 2-year-old asking, why, why? She wants to know all, even the things that by their very nature cannot be known to the conscious mind. Talon reminds us that ideas cannot be confined. They are wild and free, they move fast. Some ideas are more contagious than the flu, and they move quickly from head to head, sometimes illuminating and sometimes burning out with a flicker and a flash and a faint whiff of ash. A faint whiff of ash. Sorry about that. The self is a fragment of the earthly soul in fairy form. I think this is important. The self is a fragment of the earth's soul in fairy form. So for me, this feels like a soul fragmentation, like a soul fragment of you is somehow out there just floating around sleeping. Not embodied, not used, not at this point accessed. A fragment of the earth's soul in fairy form. Okay. In the fairy realm, light comes not from above, but from within. Like other fairies, sylphs light up the world around them, energizing all who come into contact with them with their quick fairy radiance. We humans also light up the world around us with our own auras. It is a pity that so few of us have learned the mental discipline to be able to perceive that light. However, Talon is not the one to consult about that. What Talon bestows is more ephemeral, but nonetheless of value. She is an awakener, one who startles us into seeing and thinking in new and exciting ways. She loves to sit on teenage and college age discussions about the profound questions of life. She is full of bright ideas and willing to discuss them at length. She is not too bothered about whether the discussions make some sense or not. Ideas with wings are her joy, and mental stimulation is her game. Talon has a flight-like thought. She is not bound by the rules of mass and momentum. Therefore, she can radically change direction without notice more quickly than a hummingbird. So when this card comes out as a clarifier for the Four of Swords together with the Hidden Path, I feel like I am talking about spirit here somehow. It is a spirit part of you, maybe a fragment that has not been allowed or accessed, or it's forgotten about. We even said it here, something like, the book said it here, something like, we humans also light up the world around us with our own aura. It's a pity that so few of us have learned the mental disciplines to be able to perceive that light. So maybe you have an ability to see auras. Like maybe you have an ability that has not been woken up yet. But if it was, you would be able to. It's a pity that so few of us have learned the mental discipline, air here, to be able to perceive that light, the aura light, right? But we can contact other kinds of fairies to work with that energy. But the tail end here is an awakener. So there's also a sense here, I feel like, about maybe is there some kind of awakening call that you haven't, that you don't want to see? Tailing being an awakener, I feel like getting in touch with her will awaken us into something. It will change something. But because this is with a no-go situation, there could be something like allowing myself to awaken to a new path, to a new life, where I take myself out of the hamster wheel. I take my hoof out of this. I cut the cords, I cut the rings here, and I take myself out of that. It comes with a no-go. It comes with red flags. It comes with indecisiveness. It comes with questions about the future. What if? What would my life be like? Maybe you don't trust this one. Maybe you don't trust the idea of allowing myself to awaken. Then I have to face this one, right? I have to figure out what this one is. If I do that, maybe I'm not ready for that. Maybe I don't want that. Or at least a part of you doesn't. A part of you doesn't want that. Let's have a look at the tail end here, if it's reversed. In that sense, I mean not awakened or not chosen. Fluttery, fickle, fly by night, reliable? Ha! You must be joking. Here we are likely to get into arguments merely for the sake of the excitement and mental fizz of arguing. Petty quarrels can take place. Mental irritability can be a problem. All of this can be rectified if anyone involved makes a conscious effort to become earthed and calm. Mental flights of fancy of the hummingbird mind are fun, but until ideas are brought down to earth, they accomplish nothing. Yeah, so you could be trapped in a feeling of your mind is just petty quarrels, a mental fizz of arguing just for the sake of excitement, but it never gets real, right? You never get anything done. You never get something established. It's just words. It never becomes matter. It could be the feeling that you have ideas, but you don't know how to get them into matter. You don't know how to get them, or going there may be dangerous, right? Because you were never approved. You were never given the thumbs up. You were never given the confidence and the trust from someone here that you could do something. So now you just think about it. You talk about it. You quarrel about it. You get into arguments about it, but you still procrastinate. There's still something that is not. It's like a lack of confidence, right? That actually makes you from sitting there to actually taking action and go for it and believe and trust that I can do this. I can be this journeyman. I can go out there. I can have my adventure and I can build whatever I want. The reason why he is so confident is because he got the nurture, right? Someone told him, I believe in you, my boy. You go out there and you go get it, right? That's the reason. And if you never got that, it's like a part of you may stagnate in time. A fragment has not been put, like, it has never been awakened. It has never been allowed to grow. It has never seen the light. It was not trusted. I still get the feeling of like an orbiting, sleeping astronaut here, just flying around there, just like that, just. And again, this feeling like something is just orbiting. I almost want to say this. It's almost like it's orbiting here, but it's vague. Right? It doesn't take action. It's still just a dream. It never comes from this to this. Something that can be seen, something that is vital, something that is important. Maybe it's wealth, it's success, victory. Now it can be seen by others. It's actually existing, where this is just a vague dream of something. And you would like it to be changed from lead into gold, right? But it's just a vague dream still. It's still just orbiting somehow here. And nobody else can see it. It could be the feeling that this talks about the aura reader, that you become the aura reader, but it's still very vague. It hasn't become this very strong ability here for you still. It's still just orbiting with a sense of a red flag over it. This is not something I can use. It's not something I can trust. It's not something that is of any value, any use. It's just orbiting. But what if this is just a fragment of it? What if this can be much more? What if this is not just about aura reading? What if there's more? What if there's much more? What if there's actually something that is not just more, but like ancient wisdom here? What if there's much more earthy knowledge here? So this is just a tiny fragment, like the aura reading, like letting yourself become awakened to an aura, becoming an aura reader is maybe just one little thing. Maybe there's much more than that. Right? So just take it how it resonates here, but it definitely feels something like, again, the feeling that you can't move your hooves. You have thoughts and ideas, but they don't get into fruition. It's like you can't, it seems, to take the ideas and put them into matter. Like something happens when you actually need to take action. And you have to put it into words, perhaps. You have to establish something in life, like holding on to work, perhaps, or prove yourself somehow as a success. As a success here. It's like when you want that, it's like it becomes a problem. It feels very vague, like the confidence to actually go and not just talk about something and quarrel about all the problems and all the bumps in the road that prohibit you from ever getting the success. Instead of that, and actually trying to take very focused action to build something. It's because it somehow always just gets a dream. It always stays a dream and never becomes reality. That's what I feel like this is also about. And I tell you one of the reasons here for this is found here. And maybe you need to close that. Someone is it seems like they are not coming here and telling you something, whoever this is. This is something you need to tell yourself. Okay. Can I have an advice card, please, at this point in time for Aries, please? I get Aries the parrot, and we see how he is pointing to the throat chakra here, which throat chakra is about communication, thought patterns, perception, how we perceive things, how we analyze things, the glasses we wear, how we see the world, what has shaped our opinions, what have shaped our way of thinking, our identity, our feeling of identity. Somehow I get the feeling this card is very much about building identity, building your identity, reconnecting with something here. And maybe becoming very real about what is this? How is this me? How is this me somehow? Okay, let's say in parrot. Parrot is this bird that really talks a lot or can learn to speak another language. Interesting. A parrot can imitate human words. So maybe you can imitate something else here. That is otherworldly, that is spirit, right? Maybe you can become some kind of translator. Okay, let's have a look here. It's all about communication. Aries points to the light in his throat center. In esoteric lore, the energy center of the throat is about communication. Fairies are great communicators, though not necessarily in words as we use them. They speak through words, of course, but they also speak through the rustle of leaves, the pattern of clouds in the sky, the way flower petals fall. They tinkle us with touches almost too subtle to feel, trying to get our attention. And they sometimes speak through our dreams, and we have dream here, right? Dreams and daydreams. Their communication are sometimes like those of cats, part verbally, part body language, part telepathy, and part pure fairy. Aries says that we humans can semaphore each other by flashing the light in our throat center. In fact, he says we do that and read the messages on the unconscious level, which is one of the ways we pick up on the unspoken feelings and thoughts of each other. Aries also says, and I agree, that almost any situation can be improved by people listening to each other, and then listening is the full half of good communication. The other half, of course, is speaking truly and clearly. Some people use speech as a game or a test for others to see if they can puzzle out the meaning. And this is fairly fun as long as actual communication doesn't matter. When it does, though, it is helpful if we try for clarity and the very last and hopefully wisdom as well. Aries has many wise sayings to help us. It takes two to say yes, but only one to say no. Where the stream is shallowest, greatest is the noise. He that always complains is never pitied. Better than gold is the tale rightly told. It's easier to give advice than to take it. From the place where deer are not, they are not easy to be got. Ever burns the bottom must himself sit on it. Well, Aries has a lot of those, but enough of that. Aries reminds us that good, clear communication is sometimes hard work. It requires elbow grease because the elbows are the secondary energy center of the throat. He wishes you to know that his elbows are well greased. So it seems like clear communication is vitally important here. Strive for verbal brilliance. Listen carefully. Be articulate. Be willing to calmly debate the issues and explore ideas with others. Open communication will enhance the chances of success all around. I will also suggest that the querent watch for body language, incomplete sentences, and unfinished thoughts, and try to discover where these signals are meant to get, what these signals are meant to get across. So maybe there has been some kind of blocked communication going on here. It seems like there has, because something didn't come back here. And somehow I get the feeling, of course you can look for signs. I think you should look for signs. But the importance is also now that the communication you start to have with yourself here is important. And be very discerning and very clear with your communication. You need to heal from something. And if you have communication with someone, maybe even through, as I said, a crystal ball or something, be very clear about what it is you want to know and how you can say goodbye and how you can close something off. Don't hide it. Don't speak in tongues. Don't be very clear about what it is that you need from someone. If you need to like a closure, or you need approval, maybe you need to say it out loud here. If they are still somehow present in your life, maybe you need to say it out loud somehow. Or you have to give this closure to yourself, so you need to start saying that to yourself. Everything you have been looking for, waiting for here, you need to say that to yourself now. You need to speak that to yourself. Help yourself understand that you are that. You are good enough. That you, of course, you can do this. Of course, you are worthy. But it also talked about exploring and go in. How was it? And I feel again, I get this feeling of the well. And maybe you need to dive in, and what you explore in that process is important. It's helping you to awaken some of this, whatever it is that has been hiding here. Let's see, where was it? Yeah, we need to listen. And in that place, I want to say meditate. Communication is not always just about speaking human words. Sometimes communication is by listening. It's telepathy. It's the like feeling nature. If we talk about communication with spirit, it's definitely going to be different. as it says, fairies speak through words, of course, but they also speak through the rustle of leaves, the pattern of clouds in the sky, the way flower petals fall. They tinkle us with touches almost too subtle to feel, trying to get our attention. They sometimes speak through our dreams and daydreams. They may communicate through sudden thoughts you have, through animals, telepathy, something like that. And therefore, don't discard any of it, right? Don't discard anything of it. Just trust the process. Trust the process that it's going to slowly and surely develop somehow. Where was it? There was something else here. Yeah, maybe also become very aware how people communicate to you, right? If they want to speak, if they use speech as a game or a test, maybe you can figure out if these people are actually something you can rely on, if this is something you want to be a part of. It seems like the advice is here to align yourself with someone who, both within yourself and with others, that have clear communication, right? Don't hide anything. If you have something to say here to someone, speak with truth. Even if they reject you still, you know you have done whatever you could. And then you have to give the closure here to yourself. You have to tell yourself, right? Tell yourself what you have wanted to hear. You need to start telling yourself what you wanted to hear. Because it seems like it never got, I still hear approved. You were never approved of. It was never approved of. It had red flags. It wasn't seen as worthy. It wasn't seen as good enough. It wasn't seen as something you could trust. Again, I want to say, if this has to do with your confidence, that a confidence that is young, like a young Aries, you could have a lot of temperament. You could have a lot of fire, a lot of willpower, wanting to go and explore everything. And maybe your parents didn't like that, right? Maybe they never liked it. And you never got approval of your fire, right? You never got approval of your energy, your energizing energy. It never got approved somehow. Maybe it was more shamed, and it's when you took action on something, maybe it didn't succeed the first time. Maybe you needed to do it several times before you succeeded. And then again, for an Aries, sometimes that can be very irritating, because you want to go for something and have success the first time. And maybe you need to have more experience. You need to do it again. But you see, if you tried to do something and you didn't succeed almost immediately, you felt like a failure, perhaps. It felt like a failure. It somehow shaped how you spoke to yourself and how you perceive the world and how you thought of yourself. And now I'm asking you here that maybe you need to give yourself this approval that of course you can do this, maybe, but you need to be a little more patient. And you don't need to force anything. You may be needing more time. Maybe you need to give yourself more time, right? You need to give yourself more time here. And when you feel frustrated, you need to speak to yourself here. It's all right. We try again tomorrow. This little setback doesn't mean that everything is lost, right? I'm sure I can figure this out. Maybe I need to have someone help me, but that's all right. I know I will not get it done today, but it's going to be fine. I just need to figure out how, right? But you see, if you had problems when you were younger and you didn't succeed quickly, and nobody ever told you this, it could actually be that you thought, I can't figure this out. I'm a failure. And if I'm a failure, well, I can just as well sit here. I can't figure this out. I don't know how to do this. Every time I try, it ends up in disaster. Every time I try something new, it ends up in disaster. So I worry now about starting something new because I know it's not going to work out. And it's because you never got any kind of approval or help to try again, right? This one sees the potential, right? She sees the potential in him. That's why she finds him worthy and good enough. But if someone never saw your potential and never said to you, but it's all right, maybe you didn't get it right the first time. So we prepare differently this time. We try again, we take a little more time, maybe we need to educate ourselves a little bit. Maybe we need help from others. We need also to allow ourselves that there can be mistakes. There can be things where we are not doing well. It doesn't mean that it won't succeed. It just means that practice makes master, right? Isn't that what we say? It's like sometimes we need practice. And if we talk about practice with spirit, I think it's the same thing. It doesn't come overnight. Rome wasn't built on one night. I said that in the beginning. I get the feeling it needs maybe solid preparation. It needs maybe education. It needs maybe help from outside, from someone outside of yourself, a guide or something, a shaman or something. And it needs practice and it needs trust, right? So if this is an internal process, I would say don't be harsh on yourself. Try to be more loving here, because there is healing here. It seems like there is a possibility of a breakthrough, to see something new that can help you move forward. But I still have the feeling, just take it slow. I even want to say enjoy it. Enjoy the ride of something here. If you're trying to build something new here, you want to build something new and you feel like it never succeeds, maybe it's because you have been pushing it and you have been seeing it as a problem. Maybe trusting it more and allowing yourself to just enjoy whatever you are going to experience, even the disasters. Just have a go and see what happens. Then it will be different for you. But this is what I have for you, Aries, this time. I don't know, but that's the energy I pick up on. I hope this helped you somehow. at least maybe giving you just a little bit of hope or a little bit of patience about whatever is going on in your life. If you feel like nothing is working out for me, I try and try and try and nothing is working out for me. It seems like I have just, it's always uphill somehow. And that's what you tell yourself then, right? Yeah, be mindful about that maybe. And I just wish you the very best out there. Take very good care of yourself, Aries. Love and light to you. Bye-bye.